Hello, what's up guys? How are you? I'm Pavlin from Motorcycle Adventures. I receive a lot of questions about our motorcycle trip to Central Asia or Silk Road. You're all asking how long it's gonna take, how much money it costs, what is the regulation, visas and so on and so on. So I decided to make this video to help you guys to go there. When we planned our trip to Silk Road, we hit the same wall. It was absolutely nothing or just a little information about this part of the world. A big thank you to our friends Boyko Terziev and Dimo Kolodiev. Thank you. They give us at least the basic information because they were there a few years before us. So with this information and with the research we already made, we have some kind of info which was not enough but more than nothing. The idea of this video is to help you guys to make this trip easy. It is impossible to go easy to Central Asia, but at least you will go informed. Stay with me and I will tell you everything I know. I have so many things to tell you, but I'm gonna split it to two different categories: before the trip and during the trip. First category, before the trip. The preparation is the key of success. Whatever you do before the trip will help you during the trip. You already made the most important thing by watching this video. Thank you about it. So my advice will be, find as more as possible information for the countries you're going to visit. When is the best time to go? There is not so many options. It has to be June, July or August. Before that and after that, you risk to have this overflow rivers and snow on the peaks, and if something like this happens, you're stuck and you have to wait and you're wasting your time. What is going to be the weather? It is going to be hot. In some days you will have over 40-45 degrees. Make sure that you have a proper riding gear for this type of weather. And drink a lot of water. Bring a camelback system. It will help you a lot. Visas. This is the most complicated part from the whole journey. It depends on your nationality, but if you're not Russian, you'll need between 5 and 7 different visas. There are two options to have all of that visas. The first one is to go to the big touristic company and ask them to do it for you, but it will cost you a lot. I mean a lot. This is the price for the visas, the price of all documents and invitation, plus commission for that company. The second option is to do it by yourself. The best way to make it is to find a big city in Europe, like Berlin or Vienna or Paris, and go there and find all the embassies. Once you find the embassies, you have to go and apply for visa. But keep in mind, you have to make it twice. First time to come and fill all the documents and apply for your visas, and the second time to come and receive your visas. And usually the embassies asking for a period between 2 weeks and 1 month. So just keep it in mind. Whatever you plan, you have to do it twice. Documents. What you need is your international passport, your driver license. You don't need to make some kind of international driver license. The one you have will work just fine. Some of the embassies will ask for your driver license during the visa preparations. Just keep it in mind. And when you're done with all of these visas, just make a copy from your passport, your driver license and all of your visas, and keep it in a separate pocket. So you will have on the side the original documents, but keep a copy for all of that documents in the case you're losing the original one. Maps and GPS. So I will recommend to buy a proper paper maps. The GPS are fantastic devices, but when they're working or when they have a proper satellite cover. In some of these countries the satellite signal is very weak and the GPS system is not accurate. So buy a proper paper map for each one of the countries. How much does it cost? So it depends of all of your preferences and your choices, but the minimum amount you're going to need for such a journey, which will last about 2 months, it's $3,000. So this is the minimum. Keep in mind, you have to have as minimum $3,000. Another one very important part is you have to have this money mostly in cash. In most of those countries, the credit cards mean nothing. So you can use, in some places, you can use your credit card to draw money from the cash machine, but you cannot pay with your credit card. So just keep in mind, you have to have in cash. And if it's possible, keep it in the small notes, like 10, 20 or maximum $50. Because if you have to pay for your guest house and it costs $10, the owner will not have $90 to exchange your money. You don't need to worry about your cash. What I did, I split the money to 2 different parts and hide it in the different positions in my riding gear. And every day I just prepare a small amount, which one I kept in my pocket. So for everyday costs. But the total amount I just split it and hide it in the clothes. Motorcycle. I will recommend to use as light as possible motorcycle. In this part of the world, the roads are very bad and in some places they don't even exist. Choose the motorcycle, which one will allow you to go to the most difficult part of the journey. So on the normal roads or on the highway, you can go with any bike. But with the heavy loaded bike, will be very difficult to riding off-road day after day, especially on the Pamir highway. Of course, there is enough people already did it with the heavyweight GS 1200, but it all depends of your riding skills. You have to choose the proper bike and to feel comfortable, because it will be your riding partner for a long period of time. Before you go, you have to make a proper service of the bike. Well, I mean proper does mean everything. Oils, filters, wheel bearings, all electric system, new sparks, new chain and sprockets, and everything what you have to do before the trip, because you have to eliminate as small as possible possibilities to break down. If you break down in some of these areas, will be very difficult, especially in the Pamir highway. If you stuck somewhere above 4,000 meters, you have to wait for help. Of course, you can find help, but it will slow down your journey. The spare parts depends on the type of the bike you have. You know exactly what you might need, but I will recommend to bring extra clutch plates. They weigh nothing, they're just about this size, but they can save your journey. Believe me, I knew this from our bad experience. You need to have a big petrol tank, as a minimum 20 liters. If your bike is, for example, GS 800 and you have only 12 liters, so you have to make some kind of solution with the petrol cans or some kind of spare tank, I don't know, but in some areas the distances between the petrol stations are more than 450 kilometers. So you have to be ready with a minimum 20 liters of petrol. One very important thing, make sure you have a spare key for your bike and for your suitcases or your locking device, whatever you carry to locking your bike. Choose the tires which is last longer. And I don't know where you will come from, but keep in mind, until you get to the worst roads in Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan, if you're coming from Europe, for example, the tires you already have will be more than 50-60% wear out. So keep that in mind. If possible, change the tires in last minute in some areas before you go in. We did our trip with Mitas 7, they were excellent choice, and I spent on mine 17,000 kilometers. They are not that great like a Continental TKC 80, but they last twice as longer. Riding skills. I don't know what kind of riding skills you have, but before the trip, I will recommend to make some trips like 6 to 8 hours riding per day. You don't need to go far away. You can do it around your hometown. Just spend about 6 to 8 hours per day on your bike. Simple trips, nothing special, but you will have an idea what you're gonna meet in the next 2 months. In some of the days, we have to ride more than 14, 15 to 16 hours per day. Remember, once you get there, you can't say just, I can't. You have to ride your bike, because no one will ride your bike. You have to ride your bike, you came with your bike, and you have to go home with your bike. So that means a lot of riding hours. If you never ride off-road before, I will recommend to make some practice. Get some experience, do some practice, if necessary make some courses. You don't need to be an off-road expert to go to Silk Road, but at least you have to know that the basic techniques of riding off-road. One very important thing, set your bike for a standing position. This means a high bars or low pegs. In Tajikistan, you will ride more than 10 to 12 hours per day standing. If you not feel comfortable, it will be a big pain for you. So set your bike for a standing position and learn how to ride stand. Health. If you have some kind of health problems or if you feel sick, better is to cancel the trip. It will be too much once you started. Religion. In those countries, 80% are Muslims. Nothing to worry about. The people there are great and they have outstanding hospitality. You don't need to hide your religion and respect theirs. Part number 2. During the trip. Timing. Ride strict. Remember that you have to cover a long distance. Stop often, but make short breaks. If possible, don't ride during the night. The roads are in terrible condition in some places, so you risk to have accident, you can hurt yourself, you can damage your bike, or you can even kill yourself. Split the time properly. For example, Uzbekistan is the most interesting country from historical point of view. So plan to have more time there, especially in Samarkand. In Samarkand you'll need at least 2 days to explore it. So plan carefully. Another one example is Tajikistan. Never plan to ride more than 300 kilometers per day. It is almost impossible. In some of those areas we rode more than 14, 16, 17 hours per day and we were able to cover maximum 250, 300 kilometers. So don't plan any more over this. In Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan and Russia, be careful with the speed limits. Police is everywhere and it will cost you a lot. Petrol. The quality of the petrol is very low. After Turkey you will be happy if you can load 91 octanes. So in some countries like Uzbekistan they have only 86. So make sure you have a proper bike for this low type of quality petrol, and maybe will help you to bring some additives in the petrol. I don't know, I never tried. The petrol stations over there are very strange. They are not like the one you used to have in your country, but this is the situation. The good news is that the prices over there are very cheap. In some areas like Turkmenistan, the petrol costs us 30 cents per liter. Overnight, almost everywhere you can find guest houses. The prices are between $10 and $30 per night, which is included your dinner and breakfast. Food. There are more than enough restaurants around the roads and the prices are very cheap. You don't have to worry about the food and you don't need to carry anything with you. And one small but very important advice. Bring some medical pills for diarrhea. The question is not, is it going to happen? The question is, when it's going to happen. Almost everywhere they cook the food with the cotton oil. This cotton oil is not good for our stomachs and your digesting system will starving just in a few days time. Everybody got these problems, no exceptions. Internet. In most of the countries, in the guest houses you will have free Wi-Fi. One exception, Turkmenistan. In Turkmenistan you can't find internet anywhere. To use it you have to go to the special telecafes and pay for it. It will cost you $1 per hour. Also you can buy an internet card from a local mobile providers. Exception, Turkmenistan. Safety. For personal safety, nothing to worry about. People are very friendly and they always offer help. One advice is just do not show your money on the public places and keep in your pockets the amount you needed for that day. The rest, hide somewhere. Motorcycle safety. Again, nothing to worry about, just a simple locking mechanism or chain will help you, or if you have alarm system, it's more than enough. Just keep in mind, if you leave your bike in the middle of nowhere, probably somebody will take it. But if you keep as a minimum, store it in your guest house or lock your chain, it's enough. So guys, this was the most important information. I hope it will help you to make a nice and safe journey. I have very detailed ebook with more than 300 colorful pictures, tons of information about the whole trip, the whole destination, visas, documents, preparations, distances on the road, contacts, any kind of hours riding, and all the information which you will always asking for. If you want to check it, I will leave the link in the description below. Thank you very much for watching. If you find this information useful, please like it and subscribe for a new video every week. Ride safe. Ciao.